Hello, everyone. How are you doing? This is Daryl GUBERMAN, CEO of GUBERMAN PMC LLC, a quality consulting firm here in Connecticut. This video today is about Boeing integrity cannot be outsourced, period. They should hire Daryl GUBERMAN to oversee quality because you will get a quality product out of the hangar. Okay. I will say this. I have the letter to attest to this. In 1990, I worked, between 1983 and 1995, I worked at Sikorsky Aircraft, rotary wing. I was in composites. First, it was composite manufacturing. Then I got moved over to electrical installation. And then I got into blade shop composites, grade 1. And I was there from 1986 to 1995 when myself and 880 other people got laid off. And that was due to Bill Clinton's methodology back in 92. When he first got elected, he said, well, the Soviet Union doesn't exist anymore. Let's get rid of 500,000 people out of the aerospace industry. I saw that in a Time magazine. I took my mom to the doctor and I saw it in a Time magazine. I said, oh my God, they're laying off 500,000 people. Started in 92, got up to me in 95, and they completed in 2001. Yes, isn't that a tender moment in a turbulent world? And now we see it today, how turbulent it is. And I think Bill Clinton made a mistake. But what are you going to do? So we're going to continue on. My background is aerospace, of course. I honed my skills there concerning quality. I left there and became a quality manager at a label company. And then I became a director of quality in a plastic distribution company where I got them ISO certified. So let's continue. I have a degree in management, a BS degree. I am a certified level 2 penetrant inspector. Also, I ended up getting 10 certificates from the Materials Engineering Institute out of Metal Parks, Ohio, in both composites, plastics, non-ferrous metals, aluminum, titanium alloys, composites, Kevlar, boron, graphite, fiberglass, metal matrix composites, adhesive systems, fastening systems, etc. So here it goes. And they coalesced and homogenized into 5 technical diplomas, and here it is. Materials Engineering, it's the Materials Engineering Institute, which is a fascinating and fantastic organization. First one is aluminum and its alloys, corrosion, composites, the basics, composites, material and selection and application, principles of metallography, titanium and its alloys, principles of failure analysis, fundamentals of non-destructive testing, welding inspection, quality control, mechanical testing. Now they homogenized into this. 5 diplomas. First one, composite engineering technology, non-ferrous metallurgy, testing and inspection, welding, metallurgy, and applied general metallurgy. Yes, and this video is about Boeing integrity cannot be outsourced. They should hire Daryl GUBERMAN to oversee quality, and we can do that job. We can do it well, and we shall, if given that opportunity. But I want to give you a little bit of slight background, and then I'm going to cut this off because all the data will be down in the description. You want to look at stuff up? Go ahead. And if you can't find it, if you can't find about, Boeing giving their suppliers carte blanche when it came to supplying materials into Boeing without having Boeing inspection, I'll gladly send you the whole document. It's actually in a document about me warning the CEOs about Boeing and its quality, about Boeing being a FAA regulator in 2009 when you had David Calhoun who sat on the board. So we can basically say David Calhoun now is a representative of the FAA because the FAA made them a regulator in 2009. So let me just give you a tad bit of background. In 2013, I gave a speech at the American Society for Quality. Now you can read this as I'm talking. Mr. Dave Levy, a Region 3 director, basically said that ANSI, ANAB have no problem with what I do as far as the accreditation and certifications, arena. Well, when I tried to get into Boeing, I was told by suppliers to Boeing that we cannot use your company, Daryl, because Boeing only accepts ANSI, ANAB. Down in Garland, Texas, there is a company, Stan and Steve, I will not use your name. I was on the phone with 2 Boeing people, ladies, who did not know, I guess, a rotor blade from a wing, from a propeller, and they worked in purchasing. And they basically said, we only accept ANAB accreditation. You will find out that ANSI, ANAB, and Boeing are in bed together. And that is why. We did have companies that did supply second-tier material to a first-tier shop, and they just shipped it out, okay, to Boeing. We have never had a recall with any of our customers, but it was very difficult for us to break into quality certification. And if they did, when we opened up back in 2011, their quality outcome today would be 100% better than it is now. So you have Dave Levy there. And by the way, at that time, ASQ, American Society for Quality, sat on ANSI's board, and they were also ownership of the American National Crediting Board, 50%. In 2016, Randy Doherty, who was a technical advisor, but in his past, between 2009 and 2015, he was the vice president of ANAP, the chairman of the International Accreditation Forum, which is a repository for all these accreditation bodies, national and international. And he also sat on the 990 tax forum as a principal. So that meant he had full control over all this mess. He invited us to join either ANSI or ANAB or both, but we refused because of the factor that within 2015, just a year before, he had handed this mess over to a communist Chinese national, Zhao Jinwu. I'm not going to go into details, who's been involved with our quality since 1994. On Boeing's portal, it states again, ANSI ANAP, or internationally equivalent, and you discover the internationally equivalent could be Iran or Pakistan. And Iran, of course, is the country who's supplying Hamas with monies and all the rest of that. And they have to take the blame for those 3 American U.S. soldiers who most recently got killed by a drone. Isn't that a tender moment? So can we say ANSI and ANAP have blood on their hands? Absolutely. And I can prove it too. There's no issue here. So you see this. So we tried to get in there to Boeing, and they were pushing us by their henchmen, who were the business owners, who, when you ask them about their certificate, this is their response. Pay to play, Daryl. That's all it is. Pay to play. So we're going to show you this. On a 2002 supplier bulletin, it basically says over here, and it's going to be down in the description, it says that basically on-site Boeing survey or audit of the supplier's quality system if need be. Our preference is to deal with proven suppliers that are basically ANSI ANAP accredited, because we sit on their board, I'll show you that too, with excellent quality performance and not have to do on-site quality system audits. To make matters worse, when David Calhoun was on board 2009, here it is, and it states, very first sentence, the FAA increased the authority of Boeing's commercial airplanes division to self-certify its own aircraft. But I'm going to tell you something, Dave, and this is smart. I don't know how intertwined you are. You're intertwined very much so when it comes to Boeing, because they sit on ANSI's board. They sit on ANAB's board that can grant, suspend, and withdraw certification from registrars. So if they had a bad quality situation, they could suspend them. Did they ever do it? No, because they're in bed together. ANSI, ANAB. We wanted to get in, and we have. We've progressed. 13 years we have issued certifications. And you know something? These guys are unbelievable. Okay? Absolutely unbelievable. They don't care about quality. They care about just give us the cert and walk away. And I will tell you now. With that supplier documentation, with this bulletin, it basically states this. Let me show you. You have an AS9100 certificate, very expensive to get from any of those registrars. You send it into Boeing. Boeing takes it, checks it off, says, send us your parts. We don't have to send inspection. And that's basically been going on for 22 years. They are underwriters for ANSI and ANAP, are underwriters for the International Accreditation Forum, incorporated in Delaware. It's a repository for all these national and international accreditation bodies. And you also have a factor that here it is. This proves on a federal contract that this is ANSI ANAP, are underwriters for the IAF, which means, or the International Laboratory Accreditation Cooperation in Australia. What this means, ladies and gentlemen, if you have an issue with these aircraft, 737, etc., they used to say we only certify the system. It's wrong. They certify not only the system, they certify the product. I am going to leave it here. I think this is good enough. You'll find all the rest of the data down below this video. My telephone number is 203-556-1493. or Daryl, DARYLTQRS @yahoo.com. And remember this from David Foster Wallace. The truth will set you free, but not until it is finished with you. The truth will set you free, but not until it is finished with you. And that, to me, is a very prolific statement. It's also, as Sophocles said, I would rather lose with integrity than to win with fraud. I would rather lose with integrity than to win with fraud. I thank you, ladies and gentlemen.